Okay, hello everyone. Today we're ranking another pre-workout, and for today we're going with the PVL DOMIN8. Never heard of this, but we'll see if it's good or not. First of all, again, we have to do the price check. So it's 520 grams divided by 65. Okay, price is kind of mid-range. I'd say it's a bit more expensive than most, like mid-range pre-workouts, but it's all right. But we'll see what the ingredients have got for us. So for ingredients, it's a 26-gram scoop, which is actually pretty all right. You got all the vitamins, which never really that good. When I buy again, I've said in all the videos, but when you see a vitamin on your pre-workout, you're not really buying a pre-workout for the vitamins. Like, just buy a multivitamin if you need the vitamins itself. So this usually is not that good, but it's very small amounts, so it's okay. And also magnesium, not really for vitamins and magnesium. They are very good, but if I'm buying a pre-workout, I'm not looking for magnesium. I'm not looking for vitamins, so that's already kind of like a minus. But let's move on to the formula. So first things first, we have citrulline malate. Citrulline malate, again, citrulline malate is much better than just normal citrulline. It absorbs better, and this study right here says you pretty much need 6 to 8 grams before your workout, and that's going to be good. So 8 grams is definitely very good. This is like the first time I've seen a product have enough of citrulline malate. Then we move on to beta alanine. For beta alanine, again, for it to work, it needs 4 to 6 grams. And as I've said before, beta alanine does not have that big of an effect, so I wouldn't suggest that you take it. But if you do take beta alanine, then again, it's that 4 to 6 grams. So for beta alanine, we have 3.2 grams, kind of the lower end of the spectrum, but I've seen also other pre-workouts that have much less than this, so I'd say this is all right. Next, taurine at 600 milligrams. For taurine, again, I'm using the same study that I usually use, this study right here. For taurine, it pretty much says that there's two ways you can take it. So you can take either 1.6 grams or 50 grams or 50 milligrams. And I guess suppose 50 milligrams is good as well. So 600, there's no real reason for there to be 600. You might as well just give yourself 50 milligrams. That's like okay as well. But I'd say it's okay. I'd say like you could dose it less and it would still have the same effect. So meh. Then we next have L-arginine in this blend. So again, this blend is 500 milligrams. It has a bunch of other stuff. So this is a proprietary blend, I think this is. So it has a bunch of stuff in here, and it also has L-arginine in it at 200 milligrams, which I do believe is probably not enough. For taurine, I obviously have this study, but I'm not quite sure how reliable it is because this study basically injected subcutaneously taurine 150 milligrams per kilogram. Um, and it basically said that it can be good after overuse or induced muscle damage. So it said that taurine can be good, but I'm not quite sure how good taurine is at absorbing if you just take it by mouth, because injection absorbs much better than by mouth. I think that one I need to research a bit more, but I'd say the studies don't really suggest that it's amazing. So plus it's mostly for metabolic. um, for metabolism. So usually when I buy a pre-workout, I'm not really buying it to lose fat. I'm buying it mostly for energy and focus. So kind of a meh ingredient. Next we move on to calcium. So this is again a proprietary blend of red algae minerals and blah 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 blah, and then calcium 160 milligrams. For this Aquamin mix, so I actually found a study on this Aquamin with calcium. I found this study right here. And funny enough, they pretty much found that it's used for cancer reduction, which it's minerals, multi minerals, and it can be used for potential chemotherapy agent. Um, I think that's a pretty good sign that you should not have this in a pre-workout. I'm sorry, but like if you're making a pre-workout, main goal is literally a better blood flow, better focus, and better energy. You're not trying to, take vitamins. You're not trying to take, you know, uh, what was this? Like anti-cancer. You're not trying to take minerals. You're trying to take blood flow, um, focus, and energy. So definitely not a good ingredient, this one. Next, we move on to L-tyrosine. For L-tyrosine, I have found that you should be taking about 500 milligrams, and supplementation is assumed to maintain brain neurotransmitters, um, and also increases performance through higher motivation. I would say that's just for focus, and also lowers fatigue and lowers perception of exertion, so you can go harder. Pretty good. Also is dosed properly on the pre-workout, so muy bien. Then we move on to caffeine, and caffeine, they have two forms of caffeine here. So they have caffeine anhydrous and caffeine citrate. That adds up to 420 milligrams of caffeine. And finally, we have someone who has achieved the dosing correct. So we have this study right here. As I've shown before, it suggests that you should be taking 6 milligrams per kilogram. If you're taking the average person, 70 kilograms, 6, that's 420. And finally, they have enough caffeine, so this is amazing. The caffeine part is amazing. Next, we move on to L-theanine. L-theanine I've discussed before, and pretty much they did a study. They found that using L-theanine with caffeine showed bigger benefits. So again, combining 6 milligrams per kilogram of caffeine and 6 milligrams per kilogram of theanine. So there's a bit of a discrepancy then. So there should be a bit more theanine here. So this is an alright amount, but I would probably say you double this theanine amount and then it's amazing. But even with that, it's great that they have it in the pre-workout. Then we move on to another proprietary blend, and I couldn't really find anything on this, so I'm not quite sure. Polysaccharides. If I would be making a pre-workout, I would just be putting in ingredients that have been studied, have been found to work, and put it in the right dose. Like, I wouldn't be putting in something that this research hasn't even done a lot of research on it. So this one, meh. Then we move on to huperzine. Huperzine has been found to actually work. However, I do believe this is probably a bit underdosed. Plus, huperzine is usually best used with alpha GPC, which is another pretty much focus ingredient. So I would say if you're using huperzine, you should also use alpha GPC. And lastly, again, another proprietary blend. This one I also couldn't really find anything. Black pepper extract. Okay, so apparently this study found that black pepper doesn't really help. So, plus it's dosed very, very little. So I wouldn't even think that it has any effect. Overall, though, a pretty good mix. Again, it's a fat stack of 26 grams per serving. But overall, pretty good. Again, it could be a bit cheaper. This is a lot. Well, it's not a lot. Like these other pre-workouts were even more expensive, which is crazy. But pretty good pre-workout, I would honestly say. So I would have to give it a B, honestly. Like, only thing that is missing is like price. If I could get this for a bit less at least, then it'd be nice. I would, yeah, let's go with B. So, yeah, this is the review of DOMIN8 PVL. If you have any other pre-workout ideas, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.